Hello, and welcome to McKinley Connects. Real people, real stories. I'm Grace Sanchez, and today I'm very excited to have with me in the studio Dr. Jaydee Hughes. Welcome, Jaydee. So good to have you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. How are you, Grace?
Oh my goodness. You know what? It's been a great day. Lots of exciting things going on here at McKinley. But tell me about you. How's your day been?
It's been very busy. There are a lot of things going on at Ellie as well, so it's busy, but it's a really good busy.
I love that. Well, that's a perfect segue. I would love for you to share with us a little bit about yourself and about your business.
Great. Well, actually, I kind of want to go a little ways back to kind of
Sure.
show how I got to mental health. But
Please.
I got to the United States. I was a 13-year-old immigrant from the Philippines. And that is where I think my love for mental health and education started because I had so many people who helped me along the way. As you know, being an adolescent and an immigrant was not easy.
Yeah.
Learning a new language, putting myself through school,
Mm,
doing all the social stuff. But there were a lot of people, a lot of therapists, a lot of educators who helped me along the way, pushed me through. And it is really where I found psychology. I was in retail for a very long time. I
mm,
actually worked for Warner Brothers for a long time, and then I found psychology, fell in love, and I've never looked back.
mm,
I went to Cal Poly Pomona for my undergraduate and my master's program,
mm.
and I'm a therapist first. I've been in private practice since 2007, but my very first love is community mental health. I was at Pacific Clinics. I was
Mm.
an intern there. I was a licensed therapist there. I've been at Pasadena mental health center and counseling for kids. So I've really done a lot of work with
Mm.
minors. That's my first love, and minors who've been on probation and have really struggled. So it's almost like me paying it forward.
It sounds like it, and it sounds like a passion, like you are passionate about those that you get to serve.
Yes, I love it. I will always love it. Like as I said, I will be a therapist first.
Mm.
And I actually pursued my PhD. I just graduated this June.
Congratulations. My
Thank
goodness.
you.
What
Thank
an
you.
accomplishment.
Thank you. And it's an homage to being an immigrant, being a Filipina American. So that was actually
Mm.
my topic. It's interesting because when I joined Ellie, we opened our doors in San Dimas in January of this year. So I was doing my dissertation and opening up this new center at the same time. It was a little bit hectic, but
Just a tiny
we
bit.
made it happen. That graduation definitely meant so much more.
Mm.
But like I said, Grace, this is coming from communities. I am always going to say that this is because of the shoulders who allowed me to stand on them. That I'm here. To be quite honest, I did
Absolutely.
not do it alone, and that's actually why I love being a part of Ellie. Um,
Mhm.
Ellie was born in Minnesota,
Mm.
and our CEO's name is Erin Pash, and her passion is in mental health. And it's a funny story because basically, Ellie stands for elephant, and all of the symbols of the elephant in mental health, the elephant in the room, these types of things. But really, it's because she would have named her daughter Ellie if she had a daughter.
Aw,
So
oh,
that's kind of like a personal twist to that. But really, to me, Ellie gives me an opportunity to serve. It gives me an opportunity to work with therapists and to really fire up that passion about helping others and helping communities. And that's really Ellie and what we're about.
that's so beautiful. Well,
Yes.
that's the perfect segue to my next question, and that is how do you see mental health and education playing a role in supporting our communities? I mean, it feels like everywhere we turn, mental health has just become such a an area of focus. So many people are in need. So
Mhm.
help us understand that. How is it that what you do can help not only those that we serve here at McKinley, but the community at large?
Honestly, I think we've come a ways to really destigmatizing mental health, but we
Mhm.
need to do it more, right? And I do think that for me, it's really important to reach out to those communities who still feel very scared of
Mhm.
the words mental health. And education has a lot to do with that. And to be quite honest, one of our core values is creativity.
Mm.
And how can we, I mean, with
Mm.
McKinley, right, become creative forces to draw people in to say, look, this isn't as scary as it may seem. Obviously, we have to talk about the inconvenience and a lot of the other things that come with therapy, but we can also talk about creativity and compassion and the humanity involving that. So to me, that's why education matters, because the stigma is still there, but we know that it works when we go out in the community and we really discuss mental health in more understandable terms.
I love that. I love that. One thing I would love to explore with you is the possibility of collaborating with you, because the work that we do, we have a presence in mental health, and it's growing. I mean, we are really, that is probably an area of complete expansion here at McKinley. But, finding ways for us to work together to really change that stigma. And I know you mentioned you being from a Filipino background. I come from Hispanic background, and unfortunately, sometimes even in that, you know, um, background of being Hispanic or people of color, sometimes even more. I remember growing up with, oh, we don't talk about that, or it was just even just the idea of going to someone to talk about some of our emotional challenges wasn't as embraced or wasn't as encouraged. So I could definitely see us doing something together there if you would be open to it.
I would love to, Grace. Honestly, I believe that representation matters. And
Mhm.
so if your face and my face went out there and say, look, we're here. And, we believe in therapy and we represent it, right? Whether you want to say it's part of our, all of our therapists and staff, but
Mhm.
as women of color and admitted leaders in the community within at least your organization, I think it matters.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
do. I think it matters. They see it and they say, okay, well, if you're there and you can represent me, maybe I'll try it out.
Let's talk about our women's conference. You came, you supported us. I would love to hear, how did you get connected? How did what happened? How did you get to that place where you said, I'm going to this thing. I'm going to show up.
Well, that's interesting. So we were invited to a team referral meeting,
Wonderful.
and Kristen Toya was there.
Yes, she's
Um,
amazing.
I mean, she has this quiet, it wasn't as though she just kind of came out and was
Mhm.
seeking it.
Mhm.
No, it was just this quiet confidence, a calmness about her, and it
Oh,
just drew me in. First of all, I'm a fan of women. I
yeah,
love working with women. I just believe in our strength and our resilience, and I think
absolutely.
women leaders I will always support. And she was just passing
Mm,
the flyer to the women's conference. So anytime I see anything with the word women in it, I'm almost positive in.
I love that.
And so I wanted to do that. And like I said, I actually worked at Leroy Haynes Center just across
Oh,
the
good
way,
for you. That's okay. You know what?
right?
We're all doing good work.
Yes, right before this was before I pursued psychology.
Okay.
And so I've heard of McKinley for a long time.
We're
And so when
neighbors. Yeah.
exactly. So when I saw that, I thought, "Oh my gosh, and it's with women. I wanna see. I wanna go. I wanna support." So that's really what brought me there.
I love that. I love that. Well, tell me what, as you reflect back on the event, Was there something that really stood out, or maybe even a highlight of that evening?
Grace, I'm not just saying this because you're talking with me, but you are one of them.
Oh,
And I'll tell you why. First of all, when you saw me, I remember the moment actually. You kind of grabbed my hand, and it was very kind. You were kind of leading people to go into, to have dinner, right? To start.
yes.
But the way you did it was so kind. I mean, it was so professional, you know. So that was one thing, that feel that I get from
Mhm.
another human. I can feel it right away, and it stays with me. So that's one highlight, right?
Thank you.
Another is seeing the community that was there, and actually there were, I'm a Glendora resident, so there were so many of folks who
Yes.
I know. So that was amazing, right?
Oh,
But everything from just the ballet, the dinner, I love the conversation that you had on stage. It was very casual, and
yes.
so that was another highlight. And then just meeting folks from different places who support McKinley and know exactly why they're there. That
Mm,
was amazing for me. So as you can hear, there's quite a few highlights for me. But
loved it. Oh, that's
yes,
so good. Um, I I want to just there's a question here, but I just kind of want to ask this. Um, From your journey, I mean, you shared with us a little bit about your childhood and how you got here and where that first love came for your path, your career path. What would you say as you look at yourself, your personal values? Where do you think they line up with what we represent here at McKinley?
um, quite honestly, I love that you use the word human
Mm,
for
yes.
your values, right? I love that. Um, eh, for me, that in itself is a value.
Hmm.
Humanity, that resonates with me. The way that you kind of compassionately so again, the word compassion, and how you kind of compassionately lead and guide, that resonates with me. I have to say, I like the word awesome, because one
Yes.
of our core values is humor. So there's almost kind of this, we have
Silly.
to be a little bit creative and playful,
Hmm.
because it's a very hard thing to be in mental health. So there's got to be that aspect of it where you can lighten it a little bit, and you can be working with other folks who feel the same way about mental health and how we can approach it. That's always amazing to me.
Well, I am just so grateful. I would like to ask you, as we close our time today, if there was a message to someone who might be watching us that might be going through something and is on the, fence of reaching out to get some help, or, what would you say to that person if they were watching right now and that you could give them a little nugget of a message? What would you give them?
I would say that, something that probably isn't said a lot, mental health is not convenient.
Mm,
It's not easy. And there's a little bit of that struggle, but there is a hand that's out there. And I believe that with
mm,
all my heart, there's a hand. And sometimes all you have to do is reach out, and that hand will hold you and can hold you through the process until you can hold yourself.
love that. Love that. Oh my gosh. JD, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking time and for being with us today. I think your message is going to resonate with our community, our donors, our listeners today. So keep doing what you're doing. You're carrying a light in a place that I think people need it. So I'm so grateful that our paths cross, that we're going to be doing more things with you. Just
I
be
would love to, Grace. I would love to. I would
You're
love to.
all
This is
set.
my first love, so I'll be there
Yeah, I've already got
whenever.
good. Thank you
Yes.
again so much.
Thank you.